Hello everyone, today I am doing a spin the wheel challenge. As you can see, my first one, it looks like it's going to be Rapunzel. My next one is going to be Gisela, so I am going to be mixing the two together. I went on Pinterest and I just pulled up Rapunzel drawing, a fan art, and I just scrolled down a little bit and just clicked on the first one that I thought looked like it could be adjusted to where I can combine the two, and then I just drew a rough sketch. I started with the ear and I worked my way up with her hair, and I wanted to get in those fine lines to try to get the basic shape, and then eventually adjust her to add the different changes for Gisela. It's not going to look exactly like the original Rapunzel picture, of course, and I think I'm gonna what I intended on doing was or what I had intended on doing with this one, because Gisela is so different in shape, and like she's got a bow in her hair and things, I figure I could just use or go off of a color palette of sorts and look at different pictures of Gisela and incorporate some of the different colors of her dresses, or of the dresses that they have to offer, into Rapunzel's dress, rather than making it Rapunzel's traditional colors. Also, Gisela has more a darker hair color, of course, and Rapunzel's got blonde, but she goes brunette. So I think I'm gonna go with a dark, rich, chocolatey brown. So it's like a cross between the two. I think it would, with the flowers in Rapunzel's hair, I think with that I think it would be a cute idea with like daisies, and just since her Gisela's dress is green, going with more whites and yellows, since she's more greens and teals, and keeping them more subtle colors rather than those orangey poppy colors and pinks that Rapunzel has. You'll notice that for her dress shirt line, or her neckline, I did the different ruffles, but you'll see shortly that I had to go back over it, so and redo it a little bit, but this is definitely a fun thing to try. I loved spin the wheel challenges where you get two characters and try to mash them together. I'm trying to get better at it. I'm not great at it yet, but I'm hoping to get better. Rapunzel's mouth is a little tricky just because the picture I was copying was so faint, but I loved the artist's delicate look on, or in her piece, or his or her piece. I'm assuming it was a her, but I don't know. But the piece was very, very well put together. I loved how her hair is kind of switching to the side, and how they incorporated the extra little braid in her hair. But I love, and I love that they kept her traditional dress. With her eyes, I went with in the original, it had the gleam, that like the shine on her eye, on the pupil, but I went more towards the iris, I think that's what it's called, where the color is at, because Gisela, she's just got dark eyes. They don't, back at that time, Disney didn't really add much color around the eyes when they were zoomed out, and I wanted to give the impression that it was two Disney characters combined. So I moved the pupil out. I mean, originally I didn't, so you can see like I have the pupil towards the middle of the, or the gleam towards the pupil, middle of the pupil, but I did end up moving it out just because, well, at first it was a mess up, but I'm not gonna lie on that. But then I just decided, you know what, it's okay. Gisela doesn't have any in that spot anyway, and she doesn't even have like color for her eyes, at least not in any of the pictures I came across. So I just decided, you know what, it's fine, I'll just move it and push it over. But yeah, that's really the only real change I made when it came to the pencil sketch. But I definitely liked putting this together, and I loved all I love the curviness of this piece. Like, there's just a lot of curves. Made it really easy to just kind of manipulate into going whichever way I wanted it to go. But I definitely want to try this again eventually in the future. I need to get a better camera situation, because clearly, I don't know if you can see, but the case to my camera is kind of, I was holding it up, so it definitely got in the way at times, but I worked with what I had. I'm sorry if I blocked any of your, any hand motions as I was drawing, but I tried to get as much in there as I possibly could with what I had, but yeah, it was definitely a real challenge. I'm hopeful that I'll figure out a better drawing setup for the future. But yeah, let me know down in the comments what you think would be a really weird but yet cool Disney combo. I recently did the Dewey Duck with Pegasus from Hercules, and I got really excited because they're both white, and Pegasus has a blue mane, and Dewey's, of course, he wears all blue. So I thought, oh, it would be really cool if they could be combined. And so when I got them on the spin the wheel, I got really excited. But yeah, and you'll notice when I color pieces, I don't usually do it in a sketchbook. This is the first time I actually did it in my sketchbook. But yeah, I loved doing it in my sketchbook, but I don't usually color them in my sketchbook because I'm always so worried I'm going to screw it up and I'm not going to like it when it's done. Whereas when it's on a device, you can just click the back button. But yeah, I do find though that I'll try to zoom in on my paper after a while if I've been drawing on my iPad for so long, and instead while I'm doing it on my sketchbook, and it's just it's so funny, and I'll be like, oh wait, this isn't what I thought I was doing. But I definitely I've been watching a lot of videos lately of people doing how do I put this, where they draw a piece of paper and they don't know what's going to be on it, and then are expected to draw it. And I've definitely been taking a lot more commissions too, so yeah, it's been a bit of a whirlwind. I've been trying to work on this one piece of a military game character, and it's like a police dog, but I've submitted it 3 different separate times, and each time it's been rejected because it's a military man. So, which there's nothing on it. It's just a man, and he's not carrying any weapons or anything. So I don't see why it would be a problem. He's just petting a dog, but I'm not sure why that would be an issue. But Animal Jam, they have their quirks. So yeah, this is me typing in Drizella now. As you can tell, I am new at the whole fake nails thing, so typing is a bit of a challenge, especially when you are typing one-handed while holding a camera in your other hand and typing and searching. So that was a bit of a fun thing to try. So this first picture I pulled up, it wasn't really her original dress. So I mean, it's close, but it wasn't quite what I was expecting. So I pulled up another one. This one I liked I liked more because it was it was an actual picture from the film. But I decided that so I tried to add a bow and it didn't work, but because of Rapunzel's hairline and things. So what I ended up doing is I decided I'll forget the bow and just focus on colors. And so I went ahead and erased the bow, and I began outlining it in black, and then I intended on adding color. I wasn't originally going to do that, but I figured since combining them in the aspect of character-wise was just not going to work, because they were just from two completely different animation time periods. That Drizella just has she has detail, but just in all the weird sorts of places, not in a bad way, not that Disney did a weird job designing Drizella, but her jawline is very unique. It's just very different, and it's not in the traditional sense. I mean, she's clearly not a Disney princess, she's a Disney villain. So, and Rapunzel is a sweet character in nature. But I did like the idea of making Rapunzel more of a spring girl. I mean, more of a foresty spring girl, more subtle. And Drizella's colors could definitely give that vibe if done in a way that's not so poofy. Think of Ify from Hunger Games, and just she has really good taste in colors, but she just gets so poofy with all of her outfits. How many of you have named some of Ify's outfits in Hunger Games? I've come up with names for a lot of her outfits just because they are so fun and bizarre. I also tried to show the numbers of the pens I used for her skin and her hair. I am using they're called Ohuhu. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. Those kinds of markers. I only have skin tone and dark, so a lot of skin tone based markers and some yellows. So I used what I could for the hair and the skin, and also for some of the buds of the flowers. But after that, I ended up using, I really want to get some more of the alcohol markers because they are so nice, and they blend so beautifully. But in the meantime, I used Crayola. I think they're Crayola. They're the CasArt markers. I'm sorry, the CasArt markers for her dress, and then as well as Twisty Crayola crayons, or the Twisty Crayola. I don't like calling them crayons because I feel much fancier when I use them. But that and colored pencils for some of the leaves in her hair. But yeah, as you can see, I started working with the mouth a little bit too. I wanted to use a more of a lighter skin tone for her face so that I could use a skin tone base for her lips as well. You can see me using this as a color marker for her dress. I used that dark greenish color for her middle, and then went with the lighter green for her sleeves and her underpiece. And I love how I loved how the green turned out. I wasn't expecting it to turn out like this, but it turned out a lot closer to Gisella's colors than I anticipated. I do kind of wish I had figured out a way to incorporate some more of her pattern styles from some of the other pictures I saw on Pinterest, but I just ended up going with the colors that I had and called it close to what she was. And for her eyes, I wanted to use brown as well. Like I said, Gisella doesn't really have an eye color, and Rapunzel's eyes are green, but because I made her dress green, I didn't think that was the right fit. So I went with a hazelnut brown, which I thought was better anyway, because it kind of reminded me of Rapunzel's favorite soup. Oh, what was it called in the movie? Mother Gothel comes into the tower and she's like, "I'm making your favorite soup." And I believe it was hazelnut soup, but this is the final result. I hope you enjoyed, and please like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video. And 56 Glitter over and out.